The more successful you are in life, the more people will ask you to speak. If you are good at anything, including frying akara, when you become so good, people will come to you and say, how did you do it? They need you to speak. Any professional who is successful or looking to success, it's a non-negotiable skill. And the reason I say skill is because it's not a talent. Nobody was born standing, sitting, walking, running. We all learned how to do those things. Right. One of the biggest challenges we have as a nation, and I'm speaking of Nigeria that I am from, is the people not trusting leadership because the leadership doesn't know how to talk to the people. Stories appeal to human emotions. They appeal to the curiosity we were all born with. The one thing that almost every human has in common is curiosity. When a child is born, they see something, they don't know, they touch it. They want to put it in their mouth. They want to grab it. You put a finger in front of them, they hold it. It's curiosity. It never goes away. It can be silenced by stop talking, keep quiet. Why are you always asking questions? But it never goes away. If you're trying to persuade people, for example, the way you open the conversation must establish rapport. Rapport is a place of commonality, a place of agreement. If I want to persuade you and you and I have no common ground, it will never happen. That's different from when I'm trying to pass information across. So if I'm trying to influence to a place of persuasion, to take you to a place of taking action, then number one, in my speaking with you, I must establish rapport. So pauses are primarily for attention grabbing. So when you want to grab attention, one of the things to use is a pause. To be influential in speaking, first of all, define what you want to be influential about. Vusi Tembekwayo is a venture capitalist. He doesn't necessarily speak too much about venture capitalism. He talks about understanding business. So understand what the message is you want to pass across. Do things properly, do things right. If you can learn the proper tenses, learn them. If you can learn the correct pronunciation of things, learn it. I repeat, and I will never be swayed. The more value you give, the more people will overlook whatever mistakes you make. The truth is, no matter how expensive transport gets in the world, people will pay for it because it takes you somewhere. When speaking becomes transportation, they'll pay you for it. When it takes people closer to the destiny they want to get to, they'll pay you for it. I'm preaching right now.
Go deeper.
I can go deeper.
Go deeper, mommy.
When you got me there.
Welcome to another insightful episode of SelahMeditate, where we bring you industry experts to help transform you to become the best version of yourself. I remain your very host, Benzik, and today we are thrilled to have with us a leading executive speaking coach and a public speaking strategist who for nearly 2 decades has helped business owners, executives, and leaders master communications, transform their speaking, and also help monetize their speaking. So today she shared with us to help unlock the power of your voice so she can help you also speak your way to success. She has trained countless of individuals to be able to speak with confidence and authority. But before I bring her in, as I often do with my first-time guest, I'm going to take a brief moment to read her abridged profile. Joyce Daniels, Queen of Talk, is Africa's leading executive speaking coach, public speaking strategist, and thought leader in professional communication, with almost 2 decades empowering business owners, executives, and emerging leaders to command the stage, amplify their influence, and monetize their speaking. Through her firm, Joyce Daniels and Associates, she trains coaches, professionals across corporate, political, and entrepreneurial spaces, equipping them with skills to speak with confidence, clarity, and authority. Joyce is the convener of the Money Making Mouth Conference and the Bold and Audacious Conference platforms designed to empower individuals to leverage public speaking for impact and income. She is passionate about helping high-achieving women transition into thought leadership and monetize their expertise through speaking, consulting, and training. So guys, if it's your first time of coming to this channel, do it to hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share it with those who this is going to impact. We'll do our best to bring you high calibers of individuals so they can help build you up and also help you in every area of your life. So take a moment and give it a like and subscribe. So make welcome my highly incredible guest, Joyce Daniels.
Thank you, Benzik.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Pleasure is mine.
I don't know why I love calling the name Joyce. It sounds more melodic to me.
I don't mind it. My friends growing up in primary school and some part of secondary school call me Joyce. So when I hear people call me Joyce, it's nostalgic. So it's fine. Call me Joyce. It's fine. My mom won't like it.
Seriously? But is the name, is it Joyce or Joyce?
It is Joyce. It's originally a boy's name, and then it translated into a surname before in the 1900s it became a unisex name, and right now in the 2000s that we are, it's more of a female name. So it's gone through a journey. It's Joyce. It means leader. It means king. It means an overflowing of joy.
Yeah.
It means power and authority. So, and I think all these are things I embody.
Sometimes I could call you Joyce and I could call you Joyce.
Yes, anyone's
You're
fine.
okay with
I'm personally fine with it.
Excellent, excellent. So Joyce, you have built an incredible career around public speaking. Now, what has been the defining moment that made you realize the power of your voice?
Number one, after NYSC, I got my first job. I was doing really well in sales and business development. I worked in a fire safety company. But I was looking for something else that was authentic to me. I didn't know what that was. And I didn't also have the presence or the patience to wait to discover it whilst on a job. So I quit my job to find me. And at some point, I had a feeling it to be one of 4 things that I do with ease: speaking, dancing, singing, acting. And then I chose speaking because I had been on stage as a master of ceremonies for, at that time, 15 years. As a hobby since age 10. It was fun. And I had been called to train people to speak for fun because they said, oh, you're the talkative child who is not afraid of anybody, you're always confident, so you can teach others. And I'll try to figure out how to teach them to be. But that same November 2007, I was asked to train senior staff of NNPC. And the person who asked me to do it, I was like, why do you think I can? She said, Joyce, don't you know you? Haven't you seen you? And so I sat down, developed the content, and the feedback was clear that this is me. Some of them said, I remember a particular woman saying she had been in the workplace for over 25 years at that time. She had attended trainings all over the world. But the way I was able to piece the knowledge, she had never had it that way. And this was me untrained. I hadn't gone through any, what we might call proper training and exposure to training, yet I could get this kind of feedback from this kind of woman who didn't know me from Adam. I was neither popular nor a celebrity, so she didn't owe me any compliments. I knew that this was what I was looking for. That's the thing that is authentic to me. So it was a defining moment.
Now, many people struggle with confidence when speaking. Was it natural to you, or how did you develop that skill?
I like to say it's something we call in Nigeria follow-come. I was born with it. I don't like to own it and say I developed it. No, I developed it when I realized as a fully grown adult that it was a strength. That when I realized that this was such a resource that many people didn't have. But I'd always had it. Kind of made it easier for me to hold it as a gift. You know how some people say, I used to be shy, and when I now learned to be confident, I'm now training others to be confident. No, I've always been confident. I don't know what shyness is, so I can tell you what confidence is and what it looks like. That's my strength. So I've never really been afraid of anything or anyone. It's how I was built intrinsically, and I'm grateful for it.
Interesting. Now, I want you, in 3 to 5 minutes, can you summarize what you do?
Yeah.
How do you do it? How did it start for you? And what do you intend to achieve with it?
To summarize what I do, I train and help professionals be confident enough to speak what really is important to them or their audience on any platform. It's one thing to say what you think the world wants to hear. It's another thing to say what you really want to say. That's where confidence comes in. And I've seen that a lot of professionals might say one thing because they feel that's what the world wants to hear, but there is something deep down they really want to say that they haven't said. My job, my mission is to help them own that thing and say it in the easiest way that will be understood by the audiences they target on any platform in the world, whether it is in a boardroom, a conference, a webinar, a podcast. That's my mission. How did I get into this? November 2007, I told you a friend of mine asked me to train, and I stayed on. I also tried, by 2013, I also joined Dale Carnegie and Associates, which is the largest performance development organization in the world. It's also the oldest, it's over 100 years old. Almost everybody who is wonderful in speaking or leading will tell you they read How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. The company was built on that book. So I became a trainer with Dale Carnegie for 6 years. I became a senior trainer in Africa. So that shaped my training, my foray into executive training. And I have been most blessed when I get feedback from clients to say, Joyce, today I spoke my mind and I did it with such confidence and finesse. That's my life well lived.
Very interesting, very interesting. Now, but what do you intend to achieve with it in the long run?
2 things. 1, people who will die empty. I must have been in secondary school when I heard Miles Monroe say, the grave is the wealthiest place because many people die with their ideas and their desires. And that day, I said I will die empty, meaning I will do everything I want to do, say everything I want to say, so that when I die, there's nothing left with me in the grave. No unwritten book, no unsung song, no unsaid speech. I, number 1, want to help executives achieve that. Number 2, the more professionals are able to communicate their ideas and desire on this African continent, the better for Africa. Because Africans will solve our problems. It will start by talking about the solutions. The solutions to our challenges lie within us. And until you are able to articulate it verbally, it is usually difficult to execute it. there is a direct relation between the articulation of thoughts and the execution of same.
Yeah.
So if Africa is going to be better, I need to see African speakers. Oh yes. So it's a clear mission. I'm not even daydreaming about it. I'm living it.
You understand the vision
I
clearly.
understand the assignment so clearly. I live for it. I wake up for it every day. So when I get clients who say to me, we were able to execute this thing in our organization because I spoke about it at the first meeting. Then it was bought into. Then we carried it on. And then now we've executed and see the results. That's what I'm doing this for.
Interesting. Now someone may say, how does public speaking, or how is it going to affect me, or affect my life positively, or it's going to lead to my success if I'm not into public speaking? Because you're into public speaking, that's what you do for a living. So it's gonna, whatever you do about it is going to be about making more money. So someone will say, I think I do furniture, I'm a decor, I'm a makeup artist, or I do any other form of skill. So public speaking is none of my business. How does that affect a person's financial success and business growth?
Number one, public speaking is not a thing that happens on a stage. As long as you're speaking to someone that is not you, that's public. So if you're going to speak with someone that is not you, that is public speaking. So I want our viewers and listeners to see public speaking as what you do daily on phone calls, in webinars, at interviews, speaking to your artisans, your colleagues, your staff, your fiance, spouse, children, parents, and other stakeholders. It is holistic. The ability to communicate your idea and your desire in the right way that your audience will buy into it. You want to hire a car and you are able to negotiate to hire that car at the rate you want. That's public speaking.
Wow.
You want to buy a house or a microphone and you are able to discuss with this person across board. This person might even be in another continent and you're able to speak to them until you come to a good agreement. That's public speaking. So if you also want to get on stage, it's an extension of your everyday. So I always say public speaking doesn't happen on stages. It happens every day. What happens on stages is amplification. When you are on stage, it is only an amplification of your everyday. So that's why I can see some people on stage, and I know that on a good day, you don't know public speaking because on this stage you have messed up. So because you thought public speaking was reserved for stage. No, it's a daily thing. How you win your own achalugo to marry you is a function of public speaking. How you win your children to buy into your ideas as a parent, that's public speaking. How you win your in-laws, how you win your congregation, how you win your clients is public speaking. Number two, the more successful you are in life, the more people will ask you to speak. If you are good at anything, including frying akara, when you become so good, people will come to you and say, how did you do it? They need you to speak.
True.
So for any professional who is successful or looking to success, it's a non-negotiable skill. And the reason I say skill is because it's not a talent. Nobody was born standing, sitting, walking, running. We all learned how to do those things.
True.
So they've become skills. To sit is a skill. It's not a talent. A baby younger than maybe 6 months will find it difficult to sit. They sit, they fall.
Yeah.
And somebody will prop them. And after a while, they now learn.
You grow into it.
You grow into it. That's the same thing with public speaking. You learn it. There are principles to it, like driving, like riding a bicycle, or like using WhatsApp. Nobody was born using WhatsApp or Facebook. You learned it. You learned how to send voice notes, video notes. You discover what's this new thing here, how to use emojis. Public speaking is the same. You learn the principles, you apply them, you become. It's a tool for excellence and leadership. Number three, if you will transform society, you will talk to society.
If you will transform society, you will talk to society.
One of the biggest challenges we have as a nation, and I'm speaking of Nigeria that I am from, is the people not trusting leadership because the leadership doesn't know how to talk to the people. The reason why I'm even saying talk is talking will lead to communication. And sometimes it's non-verbal and all, but in this case, we're talking about speaking.
Talk, okay.
I'm not talking about communication as a whole. I'm talking about communication via speaking and talking.
Okay.
If you will not talk or speak to your followers, you will not get the transformation you seek, or you will not get it in the time frame, or you will not get it with the right amount of cooperation. You might get it through coercion and compliance, which is not what leaders want. That's what bosses want. Leaders want followership, not compliance.
True.
That you're working and they're working with you, not that you're working and you tie a rope and drag them. Talking can change that. Speaking, using the right skill of public speaking with the right words, all the other things that communication might bring. But the fact that you are even speaking and talking, you are more likely to get converts. Because people will hear you again and again and say, you've said it 3 times, it makes some sense, you've said it 10 times, and before you know it, they agree with you. So if transformation is going to happen in Africa, we will have leaders who will speak. I haven't yet lost hope because I also know that I have a solution to helping leaders speak more. Some leaders don't speak, not because they don't have what to say, they're also afraid. They've not understood the principles of speaking. Many people are afraid to drive until they learn how to drive. Some people are afraid, even when they start learning how to drive, they're afraid to drive on the highway until they've learned what to do on the highway. And then after a while, they can drive on the highway, put a phone here, greet somebody as they're passing by.
Yeah. It
because
becomes
it has
natural.
become a skill, it has become flesh, it has become part of you. We now call it natural. So it's subconscious. You're no longer thinking about it. Public speaking is the same way. To transform society, you will speak to society until it becomes natural.
I've never seen it in this angle.
Okay, that's why you're not Queen of Talk. That's why I am Queen of Talk.
Indeed, you're Queen of Talk. I love the way you're doing the expose so deeply. Now you're making me somehow kind of feel uncomfortable when you're speaking. When you're speaking with public speaking expert like this, now you're asking yourself, hope you're not making mistake in the way you're
You are
speaking your own.
not. Look, Benzek, you are transforming people via your speaking. Look at the people who followed you. Do they follow you because you tied a rope to them? Is it because you only said subscribe? There's some people who will subscribe even without you saying subscribe or like.
True.
Because you are giving.
True.
So you're already living it.
That's
In
true.
your own case, you're living it to fulfill your desire. Remember, it's your desire to do this. There might be some business in it for you because I hope you do make money from it.
Yeah.
So it's fulfilling all of those so that you can live full and go empty. You're doing it right. This is what you're supposed to be doing with it. Congratulations.
I think my confidence has been improved now. My confidence has been improved.
Well done, sir.
You have done well. Okay. Now, I want you to share, you know, real life examples of people that you think public speaking have transformed their life and career. That maybe you knew them before they became professionals in their speaking and how it was transformed them.
I know quite a number of clients that I've had who have been able to attain promotions, including board roles, because they were trusted to represent the organization via speaking. I have also a client who, in her case, she lost out the opportunity to be CEO in her firm, in the firm where she had worked for 18 years.
Wow.
She was next in line. She was so sure. She was my client in 2023. She was so sure she would be next in line. And then a few weeks to the transition, when the CEO was leaving, she was shocked to her foundations. It shook her entire being that she was now told herself and someone else were being considered. And she was like, I've always been next in line. And she said, but you see this other person, they go out, they speak more. We know they can carry our message. You are usually behind the scenes. And for CEO, we're not looking for people who understand tacts and tactics.
Yes.
We're looking for people who can represent the brand. So I know a number, but for sake of this conversation, let me speak to one person who many of us know across the world now. And it's only because she speaks. Not because she's a professional, not because of how successful her business is. In fact, many of us don't even have a clue where her business is. But we know and we defer to her because she speaks. Her name is Ibuku Awushika. What's the name of her business? Where is it located? You don't know. But you know what she speaks about. She speaks to enterprise development. She speaks to leadership and personal leadership. She speaks to women and being apostles in the marketplace, right? But she's a successful businesswoman. Do we know her for her success in business? Not really. We know her because she speaks about the things that are important to her, including business and how to grow business in Africa, how to grow business as women. So you see what I mean when I say I help professionals talk about what is really on their minds on any platform. Because I have Ibuku Awushika as a glaring example. There's almost nothing she will sell to us as a public today that we won't buy.
True.
If she writes a book today, no matter the topic, no matter what parenting, marriage, business, we will buy because we trust her, because we hear from her. There's another man, Vuzi Tembekwayo, the South African. What does he do? What's the name of his business?
He speaks.
Thank you. What's his day-to-day 9 to 5?
Speaking.
Many of us don't even know because we know him as a speaker. So speaking is transformational and takes you beyond being a successful anything to becoming influential. You asked me the difference between good and influence, huh? Yeah, that's the difference.
Practical example.
Live. And I can give you a few others.
Now, how can business owners and entrepreneurs use public speaking to build influence and authority in their industry?
Number one, understand what it is you're trying to influence people for. That you are in business doesn't mean you're trying to influence them in the place of your business. Let me think of one quick example. There's a man called Yemi Fashion. He has been HR director in 7up, HR director in some other organizations. On LinkedIn, he's a god. Everything he speaks about is HR. And so you have HR professionals from across the world who reach out to him on HR related matters. He's speaking about what he knows, what his territory is. There are some people who are in tech, like the people from PiggyVest, for example. They're always talking about tech and finance and tech. They're using public speaking to amplify influence in their field. And then there are people like Ibuku Awoshika, who is in manufacturing, but she doesn't really speak to manufacturing. She speaks to business and enterprise. She speaks to harnessing your business skills and understanding your purpose, right? So to be influential in speaking, first of all, define what you want to be influential about. Vusi Tembekwayo is a venture capitalist. He doesn't necessarily speak too much about venture capitalism. He talks about understanding business. So understand what the message is you want to pass across. Number two, understand the audience you want to speak to so that the language you use will appeal to that. Everybody can hear you, but the people who will be pulled to you will be those who understand the language you're speaking. So you might be trying to speak to a particular subset of society, but the language you are using is not appealing to that subset. And you start wondering why you are not getting the response from that subset. You're getting responses from other people, but you're not influencing who you want to influence. So you need to learn the language of the audience that you are trying to speak to. Number three is to be trained. You don't learn how to drive by reading a book on how to drive. After reading the book on how to drive, you get behind the wheels and you keep going until you learn to drive. Public speaking is not a talent, it is a skill. So learn the tenets, learn how to pause, learn how to open, learn how to close, learn how to tell stories. Everything can be learned there. It's like saying to a child, children learn the alphabet first, A to Z. At least in the way we were raised and what we see in the climate that we belong to and English-speaking countries. They learn A to Z first. Then they start learning sounds. A is A, A, B, B, K, right? Then after that, they start using the sound to form 2-letter words. At, to, in. Then they start doing 3-letter words, then 4-letter words. And after a while, a child will hold a book. And because of the letters they've learned, the sounds they've learned, they say a word and they say, mosquito.
Yeah.
They learn to read by understanding the basics. So learn the basics of public speaking. It won't fall on you like rain from the sky.
No, I love the way you communicate very well and the way you speak. It shows that you're a queen of talk. Now, in today's digital world, what is the importance of public speaking in podcasts, social media, and virtual events? How important is it?
Innovate or die. Go where the world is going or die. If the world is going to YouTube, podcasts, LinkedIn videos, the algorithm is favoring 1 to 4 minute videos right now, and you still want to insist you'll be writing. Wait now, we're going to show you. You will go the way of Nokia and BlackBerry. As simple as that. This is where the world is. In fact, if you look at the World Economic Forum, what the World Economic Forum says are the skills required in the workplace for the last few years, and now it has projected to 2027, 2030. Communication remains one of them. It may not be said as public speaking. So when you see that critical thinking is a tool required in the workplace, how do you communicate what you have critically thought of to get buy-in? Is via speaking. So that's the value in this digital world. No matter what it is you do in the digital space, because we are still in a human world, you will need to communicate it. Even if you write it or type it, remember, the more successful you are, the more people want to hear your voice. They will come for you. You might choose not to, but if you see that that's where the world is going to and you don't go along, after a while, the world will leave you behind. That's this world. It has no respect for today's success. It has respect for innovation for tomorrow. So if your phone cannot send an email and cannot check updates in the digital space, after a while, that phone becomes obsolete. So if you can't use public speaking in the digital space, after a while, you'll become obsolete.
Wow. You get me thinking very deeply when you share all of these things. Now, some people may say, okay, they would like to monetize their speaking so they can make money from it because, money is all about it. Now, what are the smartest ways you think to turn public speaking into a money-making skill?
Number one, fix the price. Know the value of what you're saying to who and what solution, what outcome, what result it is giving to your audience. So your speaking might help people become less stressed at work because you're showing them how to use certain digital tools. So don't focus too much on the digital tools itself. Focus on the fact that stress is going away. And any speaker, any worker, anybody in the workspace who wants to reduce their stress will be happy to pay you to learn these digital tools. Many times what we do is we try to sell the digital tool. No, remember, influential is understanding the audience. This audience doesn't care for digital tools. They care for stress management. So show how this tool translates to stress management. They will pay for it. So if you will monetize your speaking, you will understand influential speaking. What is influence? Getting people to a destination. So if you can get people to a destination through what you say, guess what? They'll pay you for it. That's why they pay for transport. They pay for flights. The truth is, no matter how expensive transport gets in the world, people will pay for it because it takes you somewhere.
Sure.
When speaking becomes transportation, they'll pay you for it. When it takes people closer to the destiny they want to get to, they'll pay you for it. I'm preaching right now.
Go deeper.
I can go deeper.
Go deeper, mommy.
When you got me there. When your speaking becomes a tool for transformation and people can see the transformation take place, you can put a price on it and they will pay. So you as a speaker will need to understand it first. That it's not just speaking, it is transformation. So that is where you might need to do some critical thinking, some understanding of audience, some understanding of the tools of selling and marketing, which you will still express via speaking. Then you can put a price on it. Number 2 will be to understand in terms of dollar and cents, naira and kobo, pounds and pennies, what value you offer. In the same market where you speak, that thing you say, you might charge $5 for it and people will pay happily for the same thing without changing any comma, full stop, dot or cross. Those same words, you can put maybe $10,000 on them and somebody else will pay because you have understood the value. You've understood the value to the people you're selling because you might sell petrol to people who do not have cars and they won't buy.
True.
Because they don't need it.
No matter how good it is.
So no matter how good the petrol is, who are you selling it to? You see what I mean by understanding your audience? So don't say there's no business, we've been trying to sell this petrol, nobody is buying. Who are you selling it to? First of all, you have to have cars or generators or machines that need the petrol. So you can't stand in one corner when nobody has a car and you think you're doing bad business. You're just doing business in the wrong place to the wrong people. That's what speaking is too. I'll leave it there for now. Daddy.
Now, beyond keynote speeches and all of that, what other areas can people make money using their voice?
Consulting, solving problems, webinars. How? What is your audience trying to fix? What will you say to fix it? So there is a gap, for example. Some business owners right now are struggling to understand their Gen Z staff.
Okay.
I keep hearing it a lot. This Gen Z, they're different. This Gen Z, they're different. The person who is speaking is a baby boomer, meaning between the ages of 52 to 60 or something like that. So they are saying they can't understand this workforce that is between 21 and 30. Well, that's what some people call, that's the Gen Z, right? That's what it's, and then there's the Gen Alpha. So there is that disconnect. Now, if you start speaking about how to get the cooperation of your Gen Z staff without stress, somebody's already going to buy that because you're solving a problem. If you package it as a podcast, they will listen.
Yeah.
If you monetize it as a course, a video course, or I dare say an audio course or audio book, they will buy it. If you know how to pitch and offer it as an in-house training where you stand before people and teach, you're still speaking, they will pay you for it. If you start a YouTube channel where you are constantly speaking to these challenges and the solutions and you monetize that challenge and you do it in a way that people from all over the world can go in there, before long, you will see small showing. These are ways. First, you must understand the value of it, who is looking for it, and then put the price on it. The truth is, you can walk, it's raining right now. It's raining outside. You can put a bucket outside there and collect water free. The one you will drink, you will still go and buy bottles. You will not drink that one from that bucket.
Yeah, true.
Because it's been packaged differently. So you can speak so much for free and people collect it, but there's a way you put it in a bottle and say, this one is safe for drinking, and people buy.
True.
Speaking is the same way. So put it in a bottle, put it in a jar, label it. When people pick the package, let them be able to read, it contains so and so and so ingredients, it transforms this and that and that. So put your speaking in a bottle and make it look good, marketable, and then people can buy it.
Interesting. Now, what should be the pricing strategy that you think that people can use to be able to charge for
different pricing strategies? Let me speak to number one. Who are you selling it to and what can they afford?
Okay.
No matter how good a product is, if the people you're selling it to cannot afford it, they don't have the capacity to, they won't buy. So who is that audience? So there's some things that you can't price beyond a certain threshold because your audience has no capacity to buy. So then you might want to look for people to sponsor. They'll pay you to go speak to that audience. So that way you're still making money, right? So what can people afford? Two, what do you want? Sometimes it's what you want that determines the audience you go to. I want to make this amount of money from my speaking. Therefore, I know this is not my audience. I need to go here. Therefore, remember I said the influential is flexible and understands methods. You will now learn the method to change the audience. Because these people cannot pay, but I want people to pay. So now let me sell it to these people. So now what are these people looking for? And how do I make this message tailored to them? So number two is, what do you want? Number three is, what has it cost you to get here? Sometimes you need to check what education costs, what all the courses you've attended, all of that, what it's costing you to produce. If you are a podcaster or a YouTuber, what is it costing you? What did that camera cost? What did the lights cost? You might need to factor all of those things in. Some people will say, what is your your running cost plus your vanity cost. Put it all together and determine, okay, if it has cost me $1,000, then if I sell it at $100 a piece to 10 people, I've made my